Somebody want to do a recap for us then?
We're about to sleep. We just got to the manor.
Yes.
Ismark Manor. Strahd came down a bell pull.
Dramatically.
Looking all suave Strahd. When his second in command, who shouldn't have been able to get into the chapel, got into the chapel and tried to convince me and Irina to come with him. And then we played fisticuffs. Strahd invited us to have dinner with him.
Suspicious.
Yeah, and then we proceeded to poke the letter.
You said you were listening. Did you say we came up with 15 minutes?
The little dragon companion said he should be dead. He was killed 2 millennia ago.
Yeah. Which was more than a little concerning. Yeah.
I wasn't with the other party, so brain no telling me what happens with the other party because was busy comprehending what was happening with me. Yeah.
So, somebody who was with the other half of the party want to recap what happened to you guys?
Well, we were eating a meal and talking to Ismark, and then when we finished the meal, we headed over towards the chapel because the bell had some ringing that was oddly suspicious. And we ran across Strahd and his second and everybody, and to our better judgment, did not decide to fight.
Said he recognized me.
We then made it to the monastery and met up with everybody to then head over to the manor after a little bit of chit-chat and whatnot.
Okay. Alright, cool. Anybody got anything else they would like to add, or are we good to start?
I think good to start.
Think we could start.
Alright, so we left you guys. You were standing in the kitchen of the manor with Ismark and Irina. We pick up this session. All of you feel rain on your face as each of you hears a lightning crack across the sky above you, lighting the immediate area around you. You appear to be hanging over a hole in the ground that seems to drop forever. You appear to be in what appears to be half pods, egg-shaped in nature, and are strapped in. As you look around you, you see that there is mist going up to almost the exact side of this hole. And as your awareness begins to clear a bit more, you begin to drop. The sound of air rushing past you is loud. You hear as you pass through open area after open area after open area until eventually you stop.
This seems strangely, suspiciously like we've done this before.
Yeah.
The pods split to the side, go forward, lower you down. The straps holding you in separate at your chest, and you drop forward. You're all wearing face helmets that cover your face entirely, but are opaque. And as you drop onto the ground, each of you is wearing what at least you think, is combat gear. You do not remember anything really prior to waking up. You know the other people who are around you, and you know you have gear. But everything other than that is hazy. As you drop onto this ledge next to this opened hole, you hear the machinery behind you pull back and the pods shoot back up. You find yourselves standing in a room. Well, not really a room. This
Ledge.
That looks like it has 3 possible exits from. It's a rough-hewn. There appears to be no signs of manufacture or man-made objects, just a cave with one large tunnel about 10 feet across and 2 smaller tunnels about 2.5 feet across. The large tunnel is directly in front of you, and the 2.5-foot tunnels are just a little off to the side.
Okay, the reason why I pulled my mask off last time we were down here is because I have a breath weapon, and if I try and use that through a mask, bad things happen.
Yeah.
I don't think we're in the same place.
Last one only had one exit, right? The first room we were in only had one exit.
Mm-hmm.
However, we were on a level at the last time. Who's to say we didn't get dropped another ledge down?
But we don't remember that.
Yeah.
Not our characters.
No.
We kind of have amnesia at the moment. Is that what you're saying?
Yes. Mm-hmm. So currently at the moment, everything prior to waking up is foggy. Like, you know you existed prior to that, but exactly what's going on or what happened, you don't remember. You just know that this is something that you've done before.
But we actually know each other this time, or
you recognize each other. Like, you recognize the people that you're with, but you don't remember who they are. But you know these people.
That's a little bit better than the last time. We have no recognition.
Yep. And then with this one, you do not have your equipment that is on your character sheets. Speaking as DM to players, not as to characters. Mm-hmm. All of the equipment on your character sheets is not currently with you. You have a backpack on your backs, and you have weapons that I just posted in game time slung over your shoulders. You are all proficient with these weapons.
Ooh, laser rifle.
Ooh, cat's feet. Oh, wait a minute. That's not what we're looking at.
The toe beans.
Okay. So, big hole, 2 little holes.
Yep.
On the ground, does it look like drag marks or anything, or is it metal plates again?
This looks to be rock. Unhewn, unfinished rock. Something you'd find if you were walking through a cave that no one's smoothed out. There appears to be dust on the floor, as though this place has been exposed to large amounts of dust in the past. You do not see any tracks currently.
I'm nervous, knowing we have weapons this time.
This weapon seems strangely inappropriate for a Dungeons and Dragons game.
A little bit, yeah.
Dude,
Anyway.
Dungeons and Dragons has had laser guns before. There's nothing that's off the table.
Not usually. Okay.
We can go.
So.
Okay, well, my character is looking around, examining, seeing if there is if I'm kicking up dust, I'm looking to see if there's any clear patches.
Yeah.
Anywhere.
Roll a perception check. Or an investigation check, whichever you personally feel like rolling.
I will be rolling perception.
I would like. I'll wait until.
Sorry, it's taking me a second to pull up my thing. From everything that I got, let's see here. If I do investigation, 13.
13. All right, as you start investigating around the immediate area, you see that you are raising small little clouds of dust as you put your foot down. Looking for clear spots, you can tell that the motion and the wind off of the pods dropping definitely disturbed the dust and rolled a lot of it forward on the ledge, creating denser piles. But as you're kind of looking through, you do see what appears, you get closer to the primary cave entrance, what appears to be footsteps that were not destroyed by the passage of air in this area. The dust was not as heavily disturbed. It's difficult to make out what the footsteps were. They look like they may have been made by boots, and they are... You're not really sure how old they are, but they're still there, so...
Does it look like the same type of boots that I get, or the patterns of tread left that mine have? Like, I don't know if my character would be smart enough to even recognize that. But, like, as a player, that's what I'm looking at.
Yeah, no. That's your decision. Would your character be smart enough to look for that or not?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I'll try and look for that.
If you put a print next to the boot, you see that the other boot is smaller than yours, but that its tread pattern looks similar.
Okay. Did they lead off in a particular tunnel?
They seem to be going down the primary tunnel. It looks as though the other two tunnels, the two smaller tunnels, didn't have anybody go down them.
All right, well, I'll tell the rest of the party. It looks like somebody went that way a while ago.
Yep. I rolled a 24 for perception. As I'm looking around these tunnels in the ground and seeing what do I see and understand?
As you're looking through these tunnels, you see that you're kind of just looking through the entire, like, not just the cave system, but the stuff behind you as well, on into the drop. Mm-hmm. Okay, so as you do that, you see that the area behind you definitely looks like there are drill marks on the wall. You recognize them because there's a spiraling pattern that seems to be either going up or down. It's hard to tell. Trick of perception. You can't tell if it was supposed to be something drilled up, something drilled down. As you continue to look around at the area here, it appears that this is a natural cave that seems to have been opened up with the drilling, and that everything around you is just unhewn rock. You don't see any machine marks on any of the rock on the ledge you're on. The dust looks like it's been here for a while. It may have been from the drilling, you're not sure. Mm-hmm. And you see no identifying marks on the walls or on the floor.
I'd like to inspect the rock, see if I know what it is and what creatures may be, like, native to, that like to live around those, like, per se, bats and whatnot.
Yeah. Roll.
Could I possibly go to the tunnels and try and listen to them and see if there's any sounds coming down from any of the tunnels?
Yeah, so roll a perception check, and which of the three tunnels do you want to go to first? The large one or one of the two smaller ones?
I'm going to start with one of the two smaller ones.
Okay. Do you want to go to the northernmost small one or the southernmost small one? They're like right next to each other, basically.
Let's do south first.
Okay, southwest. What did you get, Colton?
14.
14. Did you roll with advantage because you are doing stone?
I have my... all I did was add my perception to it.
All right, cool. So as you look at the stonework, to resolve yours first, then we'll go to Brenna. As you look at the stone, you see that this is a mixture of rock. You see that there is some solid granite that the ledge is built on, but that the stuff that the tunnel itself is made out of seems to be more of a limestone and a much softer rock. As far as things that you think that might live here, you know that there, depending on the area you're in, there would potentially be bats, there should be rats, and there's probably water somewhere, because this area looks like it may have been carved out at one point by water erosion. So that's what you gained from looking at the stone.
I mean, good to know there's water around. I'd like to give that to the group, let them know.
Okay. Now, Brenna, your perception check.
Yeah, it's got 18.
18. So as you listen at the southmost tunnel and kind of look into it, you can see that the tunnel curves probably about 10 feet around, and as you're listening, you hear the quiet drip, drip of water in the distance, but it's echoing, so you're not entirely sure if it's coming directly from this tunnel or further into the caves. And there appears to be no other sounds. Nothing other than the rain pattering down through the hole behind you.
Okay. I would move to the north tunnel then and do the same.
Okay, the results will be the same.
Okay. And then I would do the big tunnel successively.
As you go to the big tunnel near where Jareth's standing, you also listen, and the water sound does not appear to be coming from this tunnel. It's the only difference. This tunnel appears quiet.
Okay.
All right. So, what are you guys going to do?
So I guess if it's back to me, looking at the size of the tunnels, can I stand upright in the small tunnels? Or is everything here big enough or bigger than me?
From what you can tell, the entrances at the very least are taller than you.
Okay.
Because of the way the tunnels curve and whatnot, it's difficult to tell if it remains that way. But at least the initial entrances you could go through.
So we're talking something that's maybe just me guesstimating here, maybe 8 feet for a small tunnel, and then like something just bigger for a big tunnel.
So with the size of the tunnels, it's less about the height and more about the diameter dimension.
Okay.
The larger tunnel is about 10 feet across. When you're standing in front of it, the other two appear to be about 2.5 feet each. Both caves are about, like you said, 8 feet up, so you could walk comfortably into them. But the size determination is more about how wide they are versus how tall they are.
Okay. Out of curiosity, where's the lighting coming from?
Currently, the only lighting that you guys have seems to be coming from the entrance behind you, the landing, the hole that was drilled down.
Oh, okay. And you said in the backpack, it looks like all there is that gun.
So you have the gun. You also have the backpack, but no one's checked inside the backpacks yet.
Okay, well, I take inventory of what I got in my backpack.
Okay. So as you sling the backpack off your back, you see that you have space inside for what appears to be. Okay, well, let me rephrase that. Sorry. Inside, you have what appears to be 4 round tubes with glowing light inside of them. As you examine them and examine your rifle, it looks like these are recharge cartridges. That you would pop these out of the bottom of the rifle and slap a new one in. You have 4 inside of the backpack. As you also check inside, you appear to have what appears to be a tube system that contains a liquid, probably water, that you could hook up into your helmet that would then extend a straw into your mouth if you were to attach it.
Okay.
You also have what appears to be a food bar, so you could take your helmet off and eat the food if necessary. And then you also have what appears to be an attachable flashlight to the front of the rifle, something that would attach to the rifle sights.
Okay. Well, I pull that out, the flashlight thing, and I try and figure out if I can attach it to my gun, laser rifle thing.
Mm-hmm.
And switch it on, point it down the big tunnel, see if there's if there is anything observable. If not, like letting the other guys know that, hey, I found some stuff in my backpack, like some things that might fit in the gun and some stuff that might fit on it. Looks like we might have food and water in here too.
Okay.
I look at my backpack.
Yeah, check inventory.
Yep. Shayla, you find similar things. Your light seems a little more beat up than Jareth's light if you were to compare the two of them side by side. Your
Interesting.
rifle also appears to be a little more beat up. Looks like somebody may have dropped it a few times. Colton, your character, also does the same. As he pulls it out, he also finds that there is a small hammer inside. More, think a ball peen hammer. Not entirely sure what you'd use it for, but you apparently have one. Courtney, Brenna, you characters also check their backpacks?
Yeah.
Okay. As each of you pulls out the same items, the only difference between Brenna, your backpack, and everyone else's backpack is that you appear to have some sort of plastic card that is completely blank on both sides, but appears to be black in nature.
Can I hold the card up to what light there is to try and see if there's any sort of like see-through spots?
Yeah, so if you pull out with a flashlight and hold the flashlight to it, it doesn't appear to be see-through, but it appears to have a iridescent sheen, kind of like if there was oil on water, coating the card.
That's just in Brenna's.
Yes.
I'm gonna like wipe it real hard on my pants.
So wiping it doesn't appear to take the sheen off of it. It appears to be part of the material the card is made out of.
Cool.
Okay. And then the attempt for Jareth to shine the light down the tunnel. Do you shine the light down the big tunnel?
Yeah.
Okay. So you shine it down the tunnel, and immediately it extends a beam about, you think, 30-ish feet before it starts to diffuse out. And it hits a wall at about the extent of its range directly in front of you. But in the beam of the light, you also see what appears to be a pedestal made entirely out of like a white marble substance that is just sitting in the middle of the pathway.
Okay. Hey guys, there's a pedestal thing down here.
Good vibes or bad vibes?
Like, I totally want to metagame this thing, but like, I tell them, hey, I'm going to walk down to this pedestal that's down here.
Sounds good vibes, I guess.
Okay.
He's not.
So you walk down to the pedestal. As you get closer to it, you can see that the tunnel that you're in opens up in, instead of 10-foot wide tunnels, 5-foot wide tunnels that go off in to the left and the right and curve around.
Oh, so there's extra tunnels off to the side.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So tiny width or short?
No, their width decreases to about 10 feet. They seem to be roughly the same height, give or take the rock strata kind of wavering as the tunnel you're currently in. So as you approach the pedestal, you see that it is a white marble pedestal with a clear white finished top that's absolutely smooth. And as you approach it, light starts to emit from the pedestal itself. It's very weak, very dim, but it is emitting some light and seems to be flickering some sort of like image above it, but it's going in and out quite frequently. It's hard to see what it is.
All right, well, I'm going to defer to let other people do stuff.
Okay. If you guys are watching Jareth do this, you can see the same thing he saw, though it is much harder to see whatever is happening with the pedestal as you guys are further away.
Prior to following him down, I'd like to shine my flashlight through one of the other tunnels.
Okay. As you point it through the southernmost tunnel, you see that the tunnel curves probably about 5-6 feet down, and turns towards where you think the other tunnel, the larger tunnel, would connect to. Whether it connects or not, it's difficult to say, but it turns in that direction. And you can see from shining your light down there that it looks like the northernmost tunnel connects to that tunnel at about the 10-foot mark, just at the edge of where you can see before it turns.
You go down that one, I go down this one? I ask him after he flashes the lights down.
Real quick, can Jareth hear me?
You're still close enough, yeah.
I call out and see if he can see any light bending around the tunnel. Maybe, possibly.
I guess I back up and look down the side tunnels that I saw and see if they connect.
As you look down the tunnel that is in the general direction of where they would be standing, you can see what you think is another entrance to a tunnel that goes in the direction towards them, or at least in that general northerly direction, but you don't see any light bouncing around the wall to it.
Okay, well, I guess I shout back. I can't tell. Not from here.
Yeah.
Sounds like a plan. Let's get after
All
it.
right. I strap the flashlight to the front of my beat-up rifle and head on down.
All right, so you going through the northernmost little tunnel, right, Shayla?
Yeah.
Okay, so as you step into it and start moving your way forward, you see that it does curve quite dramatically, and then it hooks up with the tunnel that Colton's character would start walking down almost immediately. Probably
Wow, dang.
10 feet.
Okay. Well, walking in. Dope.
Okay. Courtney, Brenna, what are you two doing?
I think I'm just staying quiet because I know these people, but I don't remember, and I'm very cautious with strangers. So I just kind of silently follow, but also kind of do what they're doing. Like I saw her Shayla strap her flashlight to her rifle, so I did that too.
Okay.
And started following that because I figured that is a smart idea, but I'm just going to stay silent and follow for now.
I attach it, but leave mine off, just so that way we're saving battery life.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn my flashlight back off, and I'm actually gonna head down the main tunnel and start looking at the pedestal.
Okay. So while the other three of you are going down that tunnel, Brenna, you go up to the pedestal. What do you want to do?
I want to start trying to examine the pedestal. I've got this weird card thing. I have a sneaking suspicion it goes someplace. So I want to see if there's any sort of slots.
Okay, yeah. Roll an investigation check.
The first thing my mind went to was Doom when you said you had a card key.
15.
15. So you investigate, and as you're looking at this pedestal, you crouch down and looking at it. It's probably only just above hip height on the average sized person. So against Jareth, it would be significantly shorter. But as you crouch down and are looking at it, you see that underneath the pedestal overhang of the flat portion, there is a small indent with a flashing blue light next to it that looks like it could fit the keycard.
Okay. I'm gonna wait to do anything with that until I know that the rest of my party is secure.
Okay. As the other three of you are moving down the tunnel, you have to move single file. You cannot move abreast. So who is in lead?
Probably Fiona with the flashlight on her rifle.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Fiona, it is a bit of a tight squeeze with how broad your shoulders are, but you're able to make it through without too much trouble.
Yes.
As you go a little further down, you get to a Y junction, or a T junction, in the tunnel that you guys are walking through. One section goes down to the south, and seems to hook back towards where the main tunnel is, and the other section goes more to a northeasterly direction and goes into an area you haven't explored. As you shine your light down both areas, Jareth and Zieria, you see the light come through as they shine it to the south side. And then as you shine it north, you see that the tunnel kind of curves again, but you think that it might open up further down.
Okay. I'm gonna check and signal to Ygritte and be like, hey, I think that one goes down to the main tunnel. I want to check this one out, but carefully since we're not quite sure, and then rejoin with the group. You want to come with me?
Let's go.
Just double checking. All right, and then go check out and see if it does open up like I think.
Okay. You go around a slight bend, probably about 20 feet, and then you come to a much more open room. It's probably about 10 feet across, and the tunnel is about 10 feet up. It's not quite a perfect square, but this tunnel does look worked, whereas the one you're in does not.
Interesting.
Can we hear anything?
Can you hear anything?
Can we hear anything like within that opened area? Like, is there anything we hear?
You hear the water dripping. It sounds closer now than it did before.
Okay, let's go back. That water dripping is concerning, but not a problem yet.
Okay, so you guys make it back with the rest of the group. All of you are back at the pedestal.
Okay.
Does this place seem symmetrical at all?
Symmetrical?
Like, they came up the side tunnel, right?
Yeah.
Does it look like the other tunnel that they didn't take looks like it might go in the same direction, just bending the opposite way, or
We
does
took
it
both
turn?
tunnels.
Oh, you did?
So, if I'm understanding the question that he's asking, that you guys are standing at the pedestal and there's a path to the right and a path to the left. They came up what would technically be the path to the to your left. The path to your right seems to curve around, but it's much broader and the curve is much more gradual. Okay. So it's difficult to tell if that would actually hook around to the other side of where they're connected to.
Goes to the last ledge.
Okay.
I don't know.
So yeah. Everybody's back at the pedestal now. So, Brenna.
So found a slot that might fit this card. I'm gonna put it in.
Okay. I literally just put my back to her and cover the hallway to the tunnel just to like keep my eye on it and get ready to. And then I like look over my shoulder and like, all right, let's go.
Okay.
And I just kind of cautiously and slowly put the card in. I try to figure out which way is up, and then just.
So the card, you start to feed it into the hole, and then you feel something on the interior. Grab it and gently pull it, and it pulls slowly into the pedestal with just a bit, enough out that you can get your fingers on it and pull it back out. And as you do so, the pedestal starts to glow more. The image over the top solidifies into a globe. The pedestal itself starts to glow more abundantly, and the lighting in the area increases from just the light of your flashlights to dim light in about 15-foot circle around the pedestal. So,
Hate space. Let me just boost.
On the globe itself that is glowing, you see several blinking red lights, several blinking blue lights, and a few lights that are yellow that are floating more into the center of the globe.
So there's red, blue, and yellow.
Yep.
On the globe.
Yep.
I'm gonna reach out and touch a blue light.
Okay. So you tap one of the blue lights, and as your finger passes through where the blue light would be, the globe pattern shifts and it expands out, projecting an image in front of you. The image is probably about a foot by a foot that the globe changes into, and it just shows you a diagram. You're not entirely sure what the diagram is trying to tell you. Anybody who has tool skills with creating things, like Smith's tools or anything like that, can roll to try and figure out what the diagram is.
Smith's tools skills. Oh, smithing. Got it.
Yeah.
Is that you?
Do I add anything to that?
Just your proficiency.
8.
Yeah, full proficiency.
Then you add your proficiency bonus for tool.
I'm proficient with herbalism kits. That doesn't apply.
My smithing means nothing in these darn computers.
For the tools, what proficiency bonus would he add to that?
Just his regular proficiency bonus, the +2 at the moment.
2. Do you do your roll +2?
12.
12. All right, so one second. So Fiona, you look at it, and you can tell it's a diagram. You can tell it's a blueprint. It's a blueprint to make something.
Yeah.
But your brain is fogged. You know that you should know what this is, but you don't.
Huh.
Then Grizz, you look at it and examine it, and you can tell immediately that the thing is supposed to be a diagram for some sort of vehicle. And that the diagram that you're seeing also has several lights that are like blinking in various places, like in the front end, the back end, where the axle should be, that are blinking red, as though something's wrong.
I'll let everyone know that it's supposed to be a vehicle, and it seems like something may be wrong with the axles.
That knowledge, can I re-roll?
Sure.
Equivalent of advantage? I don't know. Let's see. 13.
Okay. So as you look at it and see that there is a vehicle there amongst the various images that are on the hologram in front of you, you can tell that the red blinking seems to be associated with some sort of brake. Like, you can tell where he pointed out the axle that the diagram is showing that the axle is broken. And then if you look at the front end of the chassis, you can tell where whatever was pushing this thing or pulling this thing, that area has been crushed.
It's squished. I say. I think.
So, are we able to tell that this diagram is to an existing vehicle elsewhere, and that we may come across it to fix it?
Yeah, no, that is a reasonable assumption.
It doesn't really have like a zoom power source. Horses.
Everyone, if keep your eyes open for potential tools and materials that we could fix things with, because who knows?
Yeah.
Okay. Does anyone want to do
Does-
anything else with the glowing thing?
Does anything happen when I poke the different colors? Like the yellow and the red?
So if you poke the red blinking light associated with one of the pieces of the diagram, it will blow up that piece of the diagram, show it in greater detail, and then you'll start seeing script flowing across the screen underneath whatever it is that you click on. So if you clicked on the axle part, for example, you would see the axle blown up, and then script would start rolling underneath it.
Can I read the script?
No.
Can someone with tool proficiency read the script?
Also, no.
Is it in a different language?
Yeah, it's not a script you'd recognize.
Any of it.
I will go out on a limb and say probably not, no.
Okay, because I got the Undercommon and Infernal as well. So
Yep, nope, neither.
just wanted to be sure.
And he would know if it was Leonin, because that's one of the obvious languages that I speak.
I did that too.
Yeah.
What languages does everybody speak? Let's clarify that first.
Common and Leonin.
Okay,
Celestial and Abyssal.
okay.
I got Common, Elvish, and Draconic.
Okay.
Common, Dwarven, Undercommon, Infernal.
Common and Dork.
Okay. So, Jareth and Zaria, you both recognize some of the characters that are being used in the script that's scrolling past. But they're in combinations that you're in conjunction with other pieces of script that you don't understand.
Fair enough.
It would be similar to if you were looking at Latin, where Latin uses the same alphabet as English. It's the same alphabet, but the way that it's being arranged does not make sense to the languages that you know. You can both tell that it's using some sort of script or language that is similar to both Draconic and Celestial.
Okay.
And is with the diagram being blown up and more detailed, would we be able to see more of what's wrong with the axle, or is it still just kind of vague, the axle broken idea?
You can tell that the axle, now that it is blown up more, shows that there should be something in the middle of the axle that connects to another piece that looks like an axle running between the two axles of the front of the four wheels. And
So like a differential.
Yes, and that piece is gone. Whether it was destroyed, removed, whatever, it's just not there.
So the red areas is like completely broken. The yellow areas are like danger, and the blue areas are like all good. Like, because there's like 3 different dots.
Yep, that is an assumption you can run with.
It's like, what happens when I poke the yellow areas? Like, what shows up?
So if you attempt to poke a yellow area on the screen that you're currently on, you poke a yellow dot up at the top corner, and it pulls you back to the previous screen.
Okay.
So, anybody doing anything else?
Yes.
How many red areas are there?
If you're still looking at the diagram, there are only 3. If you hit the yellow button back again and pull back to the first screen that you saw, that would be different.
Yeah, let's go back to the main screen.
Okay, so you pull back there and you see that there are 15 red flashing icons.
Yikes.
It's a lot of work.
So there's multiple
Are they
vehicles
all
down.
more vehicles?
Bless you.
Thank you.
I'm gonna poke another spot further away from where I poked before.
Okay, you selecting a red one, a yellow one, or a blue one?
Let's poke a red one.
Okay, you select the red one, and it pulls up a screen. Well, that's initially it appears to be just blank. Like it pops back into the foot-by-foot window, and it's just blank, and then it slowly starts to scrawl script. Then the script seems to just kind of fuzz out for a second, and then an illusion starts to play. A person's face appears. The person is, you think, human? At first glance, they appear to be male, human, and they look haggard and tired. And they start to speak. And you start to hear what seems to be words coming out of the pedestal.
Ones we can understand?
Jareth and Zaria will catch words, but not enough to put together what the meaning of whatever this person is saying. You hear words that are clearly draconic, Jareth. Things for like fire, explosion, damage, things like that come through. Zaria, you hear words in Celestial of like personnel, injuries, casualties. Loss of containment is one that you hear, but the word you know to translate it to is something to do with the abyss. This goes on for about 2 minutes, uninterrupted if you don't do anything to the screen. And then it just goes back to the main display again, of its own accord. You didn't have to touch anything.
Okay. I'm gonna try a yellow dot this time.
Okay.
On the screen.
As you select a yellow dot, the globe pulls back and you see a top-down view. Like it pulls back, and then you see a view of what appears to be a mountain. And then the view is cut, the mountain is cut in half, and you see the interior of the mountain, and you see the interior that looks like 20 different levels. The information then begins to spool. You see text and other things popping up over the screen, and you see the side view of 20 different floors with a shaft drilled directly down the center from the top of the mountain. As you do that, on your guys' helmets, the words will flash up in common that you can read. Take card to data center, retrieve map. Return to exit point.
All right.
Okay. Yeah.
On the map.
Is the one so there from this room there are 3 ways out? The one that Jareth came in, the one that Grizz and I came in, and then the way that curves out to somewhere else,
Yes.
right? Those are the tunnels we've got?
Yes.
Okay.
On this view on the mountain, does it like show any indication on which level we're on?
Roll an investigation check.
$13.
Okay. With the 13, you look through and you can see there are a variety of different lights and dots and things on various locations throughout the map. As you're looking at it, you see an area that has a green dot, probably about, you think, the 7th level. It is the only green dot on the map, and it's the first time you've seen green in the display.
Okay.
Is there no legend or key?
Nope.
Yeah.
Whoever made this seemed to be assuming that you already had the innate knowledge to run this thing, if you would be looking at it.
I'd like to ask the rest of the group, do we find it worth the time to read through every dot, or are we trying to just jump to the objective?
I mean, we didn't get given a time limit. If we can at least figure out where the data center is, I think it's worth checking.
I see.
Okay, well, I'm ready to keep on going in this place because just poking around this pedestal, I mean, we can get info maybe, but it's not the main objective of where we are.
And do you know why we're here? Other than data center?
It's a clue.
Yeah, and we have answers. This thing clearly, it's like walking away from a library.
Like skipping through the beginning of a game. Read the instructions.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so what are you guys going to do?
Read through some more, I think. At least on my hand. I'm gonna lean over Ziara and be like, what about the green one?
Well, we found the green dot, so I'm gonna try and touch that green dot.
Okay. So you touch the green dot, and then the following image appears inside of the green dot. Green dot expands out, shows you this.
Oh, hey, a map.
See, you don't walk away from the library.
Numbers! Woohoo!
Hmm.
Are you able to zoom in at all?
Yeah, Jordan, could you zoom in on that any? Thank you.
That's a lot better. Okay, so where are we?
You are standing in the combined area here at this junction.
Ah, okay.
I see. So there's the tunnels. Fiona and I came down.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Wait, which side are we on?
You're right here.
Okay, okay,
You guys came down these tunnels here.
okay. Alright. So that over there is the expanded room we saw, or that's the drop?
This is the expanded room that you saw.
Okay, Okay. So one was the ledge.
Wait.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm not seeing data center marked per se.
There it goes. Dropped back in.
Is there?
Two.
Are there any other dots on the map?
As you look at the map, the most you can see is that there are a few red dots in a couple of different places, but there does not appear to be any blue or yellow dots scattered across the map. You see
That's
a
concerning.
red dot over here. You see another red dot here. See a red dot here in 3. And the final red dot that you see is up here in 15A.
Do we only see the map, or are we able to see the rooms and what they have in them?
What do you mean?
Like the list on the left.
Oh, yeah, no, you don't see any of that information.
All right. I just wanted to know if our characters saw or did not see.
So we just see the map, no annotations.
Yeah, currently. I mean, you see the numbers. Each room is numbered.
Okay.
And you do see that there is supposed to be a pathway up to level 5, up to level 6, down to level 8. You see those annotations, but you do not see, like, the 1 square equals 10 feet type of thing.
Guessing.
Or any of the stuff around the edge of the screen here on the tab I have pulled up.
All right,
So
thank you.
where were the red dots? My stream kind of failed.
Okay. You have one up here in 15A. You have one over here in 10. One in 8. One over here in 3.
To 5 or 6. So we're on level 6.
So 3, 8, 10, 15A.
We can this way, obviously.
Okay.
8.
And none of our equipment has any way to write any of this down, does it?
You don't have any writing utensils or anything with which to record data, as far as you can tell.
All right, well.
If I poke any of the dots, does it pull up anything?
As you click each dot, it pulls up a wall of text, but does not give you any images, does not give you any video. It simply provides a wall of text. You may roll an investigation check. If you and Jareth both do it, you can try and parse out what it may be saying.
Okay. Well, I'm not doing anything with this.
I got a 19.
Okay.
I got a 5.
Okay. So, Zierra, as you're kind of looking at it, and Jareth, you're kind of standing there, communicating to her about the draconic letters that you're seeing. Between the two of you, you're able to parse out, as you're looking at each of them, that each is discussing an area of damage. For example, the Area 10 is describing how there are vehicles over there that seem to have been damaged in a result of a cave-in. Okay. Over in Area 8, you read something to the effect of life lost. That some sort of something happened there that killed people.
Okay.
Over here in 3, it simply explains some sort of fire in some sort of room. Doesn't say that there's any loss of equipment or of people. Over here in 15A, you read that the energy levels have fallen to critical levels, and that the power will be shutting down soon.
Okay.
I'd like to ask everybody if they think data center would potentially be center of the map, and there's a funky weird thing on the map that seems
Important.
to be some object per se.
I've been thinking about that too. If we are anywhere close to here, maybe it's a building. or chest.
We got some tunnels to go through before we get there.
Yeah.
A lot, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Okay, well, where do you guys want to try and go for first? Because there's a bunch of places that are kind of close.
16B. I concur with Grizz. Go and check out the big item in the middle of the map. And
We don't
then
want to go
if
and
it's not
investigate any of the
there,
red dots.
absolutely not.
Sounds dangerous.
I mean,
I would
the only
like-
one that might be interesting would be the vehicles, because if we have information about how to repair them, then cool. But beyond that, for no reason.
I would like to take the route to room 4. Maybe we can find some more gear.
We will be going through 3, which is a red zone. We do that. Is that the one with the vehicles?
No, 3 was the one with fire.
Fire. 10
10
is
is the one
vehicles,
with.
Okay.
which,
Hmm.
where are we?
We're at 1.
Yeah, you're right here at 1.
Okay.
I am kind of concerned that there may not be an easy way in to the 16B boat area.
Yeah.
It kind of seems the map
Get that
seems
done.
blockaded.
What
Wise.
if we go down the tunnel and go back to looks kind of like that area that you and I were at, and take that straight path so that we can at least look. If that's a cliff, we can look down it. If it's not a cliff, we can see if it's a wall instead. See if there's any way up.
Take the
Or
fast
in.
route.
So I would vote that, and then if we can't figure out a way, we can investigate 4 without going through 3. We can go to 10 if we want to try and look for vehicles, if that's the only way in. That sound like a solid plan?
Sounds safe enough to me. Hopefully.
All right.
Okay.
If we're all on the same page, then let's scooch our way down that tunnel, and then see if what we can see and look over at 16.
Okay.
Sounds good.
So you're going back the way you guys came to the large area you looked at but did not explore, correct?
Yeah.
Who's taking the lead? Fiona.
I
Okay.
If the orcs can fit, the rest of us can fit.
exactly. I am broad in both directions. If I am able to get through, there's no reason you shouldn't be able to.
No one left behind.
Alright, so you guys start making your way back down the small tunnel. There's no problem doing so. Eventually, you make it back into the opened area. As you do so, you also leave the pedestal behind. Are you taking the card back, Brenna?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as you take the card out, the pedestal dims down, goes back to the way it was, where it's flickering, and the card appears to have not changed. As you guys move into the opened area, Fiona, you're the first one there. You can see that the path ahead of you from the entrance of the tunnel leads. Your flashlight does not give you a lot of light going forward, but you can see more or less that there is an entrance to a larger room down there. But illuminated on the floor of the hall, in between you and that, you did not see before, appears to be a body slumped up against the side of the wall.
Oh.
About 20 feet ahead of you.
We have a body. How alive or dead does that look? Time to investigate. Hey, Ziara, we have a body. Unknown, conscious, alive state. Slumped over and kind of wormed through. Is it farther into the big tunnel or like right
Yes.
there?
No, it
Okay.
isn't into the big tunnel. Like I said, it's about 20 feet ahead of you.
Okay, cool. So I warn her and then still proceed forward so that we can get our main medic to the front.
Yeah. I try to ease my way towards the front.
It's difficult to move forward, but as each of you exits the tunnel, you're able to take up a position around the tunnel entrance to get out. Are you going to approach the body?
Yeah, carefully. Trying to be as quiet as I can be. So if it is just like unconscious, I don't disturb.
Okay.
Really don't want to disturb anything here.
Yep. As you approach closer, you're pulling your flashlight out, I'm assuming, to keep an eye on it.
I mean, I got some pretty good dark vision.
Alright. You have dark vision.
Yeah, I got...
There's enough light coming off of your friend's flashlights for you to be able to see it just fine. As you approach within 10 feet of it, you see that it is clearly someone dressed like you guys. They do not appear to have a backpack or a rifle on them, though. And their mask is shaped very different than you guys's. It's much broader, much bigger. Even though their head seems to be about the same shape. It's much broader in the front, I should say. Extends out more.
As I approach a little closer, do they move at all?
No, they do not.
Do they look mortally wounded?
When you look at them looking for injuries, you see what appears to be either a burn mark or a puncture wound of something hot in the front of their torso.
Does it look... This seems grotesque. Old?
Yes. You can actively see creepy crawlies.
Mm.
Transfer, please.
Okay. Okay, I'm gonna see if there's any sort of identifying features on their suit. See if there's anything that seems recognizable.
As you look at their suit, I'm assuming you're still like not right up next to it, right?
I've gotten closer. I've gotten like within a foot of them.
Okay. Yeah. So, being that close, looking at their suit, you can see just off to like above where their heart should be if they were human. You see written in some sort of script you don't know what appears to be an identifier.
So there's some sort of identifier that I just can't quite comprehend above their heart.
Yes.
Okay.
I would like to also approach.
Now that I'm close enough, can I see through their mask?
The interior of the mask appears to be covered in condensation. It is difficult to see what's on the inside, but you can see the catch that would allow you to release it. And Grizz, yes, you may also approach.
Whilst I approach, I would like to comment. I wonder if there's any markings similar from this guy to that beat up rifle.
Fiona's?
My
Yes.
rifle?
Yes.
Look at my rifle. Are there any markings on my rifle?
The only marking you see on your rifle is underneath where, like, just above where the trigger is. You see a stylized symbol of a lightning bolt, and underneath it, written in clear common, the word Blaztech.
Blaztech?
Okay. Blaztech?
Blaztech.
Interesting. Huh. Okay.
if anything, it's more. So like the.
So, Brenna, you are about the body. Do you wish to do anything else to the body, or do you guys want to continue going forward?
Do these suits have pockets?
The suits themselves do not have pockets, no. They appear to be just jumpsuits.
And he has no backpack.
Nope, backpack is missing.
And the image of the person who spoke on the pedestal was not quite human, was like a race that I didn't necessarily recognize.
They looked human, but they weren't quite. The features didn't quite line up correctly for any race that you've seen.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna carefully pop the hood open and see if it looks like the race that I had seen on the.
Okay, so you reach back, you get the clasp that's on the back of the head, you get the one that's underneath the jaw. You click them both in, and the helmet mask releases. And as it pulls forward, the mask drops onto their chest, assuming you're not attempting to catch it. And as it rolls off, you see 3 tentacles drop from where their mouth should be. And you see that they have milky white eyes, either glazed over in death, or that's just how they were. It's hard to tell. And that covering their mouth are these 3 tentacles around their mouth, and they have absolutely no nose. And their head is bulbous and misshapen.
So not what was on the pedestal. And don't think I recognize that race either.
Yes, Shayla?
Sure.
I'm suddenly very much more concerned as a player, not as a character. I mean, as a character, also freaked out, but...
Even if I had my memories, I don't know if my character would know what that race was.
Yep. Fair enough. So you all see this guy. Thing.
Took the mask off.
So the mask is off. Is there anything else any of you would like to do?
No nose, and his eyes are glazed over.
I'd like to put the mask back on. Don't think I can. I don't want to touch that.
Sure.
Okay. I'm just gonna pick up the front of that mask and like kind of put it on top of the head, and proceed on.
Okay.
Buddy.
So everybody just trucks past the body, correct?
Fiona just kind of like eyes
dead,
it
right?
and half has her rifle like half.
Yeah. No, it appears to be 100% dead. I'm just like, nobody's gonna kick it as they're walking by is basically what I'm asking. I've played with some weird people, Brenna. Give me a break.
Okay.
I've played with Dimitri before. Like, desiccating a body is not beyond player scope.
True.
I have half a mind to shoot that thing in the head, but I also want to save my ammo. Like, I'm teetering right now.
Yep. So you guys get past the body, continue down. You see that the tunnel branches off to the north again. But if you continue going straight, you get to the edge of the area you were intending to investigate. So as you get to that area, you see, as your lights are shining out across it, that it is a large open cavern. In the center of the cavern, there is a drop that was designated on your map. It's only about 10 feet, down to what appears to be some sort of liquid. This is where the dripping noise is coming from. There is, from the stalactites in the ceiling, what you think is water dropping into this pool of deep blue, sparkly liquid.
I don't trust it.
And submerged inside the liquid with just the tops exposed are some sort of glowing panels. And in the center, you see the thing that was designated on the map rising up out of the center. A column of some kind that has various lights blinking on it. This room is lit by a soft glow from below, blue lights that you don't need your flashlights on in here to see.
Great bioluminescence. Okay.
So this place is huge, right?
Yes, it is easily 200 feet across in both directions, and it is at least 50 feet up, if not higher in certain places.
Okay, so it's a lake.
How far back is the dead guy?
He is about 30, 45 feet back from where you're currently standing.
Can I grab the top of his helmet? The faceplate from his helmet?
Yeah, you can run back and grab it.
Go with
I'm gonna
her,
run grab.
escort. Yeah.
I'm
You're not going anywhere without someone with a gun on hand at the moment. I'm going with you.
Okay,
I just want to grab the top of his helmet and come back. Because liquid.
Yep. All right, so you run back, you grab the top of his helmet. As you pick up that part of the helmet, the head kind of lulls a little bit as you disturb it again. It kind of makes it feel like it's watching you, but you know it's dead.
I just say, thank you, will be helpful, and then continue on my way. I don't trust this liquid.
Agreed.
And come back to the party.
Okay. So that only takes you about 30 seconds.
Yep. I want to yeet the top of the helmet into the liquid.
Okay. Yeah. Yeet. As you toss it and it hits the liquid, it hits with a very distinct splat, not a splash. And then you see as it starts to slowly sink, as though this liquid is incredibly viscous. Seems more like a gel than a liquid.
Okay, maybe we should throw the body in and make sure that stuff doesn't eat people.
Agreed.
Okay.
All right, Grizz and I go to get the body.
See, I was worried about acid.
Yeah, no, the helmet doesn't seem to be being affected. What?
I was about to suggest grabbing the body when they went back for the helmet. I was already on mindset for this. I was ready to go. And just because metal or leather doesn't necessarily react instantly doesn't mean skin won't.
Exactly.
All right, so you guys get back. I'm assuming you're just going to drag the sucker, right?
Yes.
Okay, so as you grabbing it by its feet?
Carefully. Where there are no creepy crawlies.
Yeah, no,
Whilst
creepy
one
crawlies
has a rifle towards it just in case.
Okay, are you going to bring a third person with you to keep a rifle trained on it?
I mean,
figured
I'll
if the
go.
orc is big enough to drag it by himself, I could have the rifle to it.
I mean,
Okay.
she probably could. That is fair.
All right.
Okay,
all right.
yeah.
That's how you guys
I
want to do
just
it.
kind of grabbing the legs and just kind of yep.
Dragging.
Uh-huh.
All right, as you're keeping the rifle trained on it, Grizz, you distinctly think you think you see its eyes kind of look up at you.
And we thought we weren't going to desecrate the body. Is this desecration or utilization?
Yes. Why not the both?
Can I kick it in its head and see if the eyes move again?
Yes, you can. So you kick it in the side of the head, and you see the whole head just kind of jerks from the force of your kick. The eyes kind of shift a little bit from the force, and don't go back to the position they were in before.
I was gonna say they don't retrain on me, correct?
No, they don't retrain on you.
All right, so I'm not shooting this guy right.
Hey, great, fabulous.
Oh my.
I didn't want to waste my ammo.
They're a little different. Oh.
That's what they
Did-
should always be a little.
Did anything happen after I threw the helmet in the pool? Like, did anything in the surrounding area happen? Like,
No, nothing changed in the pool or the surrounding area when you tossed it in. You heard the splat echoed a little bit, and then it sank in. You can still see the thing just kind of, it's suspended a little bit now in the gel. It's not sunk super far, but it does not appear to be disintegrating, nor has anything else happened.
Okay. I guess I'm just kind of keeping watch at the pool while they're retrieving the abomination.
Okay. Is Jareth or Sakara doing anything while you guys are at the pool?
I'm just watching.
Okay.
Yeah.
Totally a valid answer. Okay. So you guys get the body back to the pool. You're all standing by the pool, and the body has been dragged forward.
Okay. How far down is the liquid?
That's about 10 feet.
Okay, I'm gonna be like, hey, can someone hold my feet? I wanna try and just dip it first before we completely just drop the body in.
I'll hold one foot. Jareth, could you hold the other?
Piggy dip.
Don't get me involved in this. I think we're overthinking this.
I'll help.
Okay, awesome. So
Oh,
I
sausage,
like
put it in the
to
spindle.
get like the main portion of the body over, and then I like get down on the ground so that like my arms are holding it so that it's getting down onto the liquid. How tall was the body again?
It's about human-sized.
Okay, yeah.
So as you lower it down, the arms obviously flop first. Same thing with the tentacles on the face. They flop down. And so that's what hits first is the hands. And as the hands hit the gel begins to, like, something down there begins to sizzle a little bit. And then you feel as if something has, like, you watch the gel begin to climb up the side of the thing, and you start feeling something pulling down towards it.
Oh gosh, I'd let go. Pull me up. That stuff is trying to eat it.
So as soon as you say, pull me back up, and you let go, the body drops, and you see it get submerged inside of the gel. Almost immediately, as if the gel, like, opens up and surrounds it and engulfs it. And
Leverage
immediately you
myself.
begin to see it start to disintegrate and
Yeah, that's what I thought.
deform.
Yeah, that's concerning.
That's what I thought. Same here.
Yeah, that's why we went to get it.
Ne-
Just in case.
Never trust viscous materials.
No. No.
I say a small prayer for that body. It was
And
already
as
dead.
you do, I'm like, yeah, thank you. Agreed.
At least we know he won't come up trying to kill us later.
True. Hopefully.
Maybe.
True. We don't. I mean, the bones maybe, but not him.
Even the bones begin to disintegrate. You watch as the flesh gets sloughed off of those first. And then
Never
the bones,
mind.
it starts to disintegrate as well.
Oh gosh.
Alright, how large is this pool?
Ugh.
So it is extending most of the diameter of the this room. There's only the ledge you guys are on, which is about 10 feet across. And it looks like this ledge more or less circles the entirety of the room.
That's concerning. We do need to get one of those vehicles. This is why we look.
You do notice, again, I'll point this out, that it appears that whatever is submerged is not entirely submerged in the gel. The thing that's giving off the blue lighting does have about a 2 feet clear area of what appears to be some sort of metal material, above the surface of the gel that you could walk across if you got down to it.
That's a nope for me. I think I like living.
What's going on with the ceiling?
There are stalactites suspended across the ceiling, natural stalactites that you would find in any cave. You can see that some of these stalactites are connected to the pillar in the center of the room, as though they have slowly grown over it in the eons that have passed since this was put here. And you can tell that the stalactites are dripping water.
How deep is the gel?
You can't tell. It's difficult to say. Could be 10 feet, could be 100. The light diffusion from the things submerged in it is difficult to tell.
Can we still see the mask, or is it gone beyond sight?
No, the mask is still there. It's just submerged only like maybe a foot at most into the gel.
Viscous.
Nothing's happening to the mask.
Nope.
And the body is dissolved, but is the suit still there?
The cloth that is made up of the suit, no. Anything that was made out of a leather or a metal material, like the buttons and other things like that, the straps of the boots, those are still there.
Okay. Based on that, looking at my suit, how much is comparable to that?
You more or less were in the same type of suit. A lot of your suit is made out of cloth. You do have, obviously, metal fixings on it for the buttons that zip it up. And you have... Your boots seem to be made out of more leather than the cloth-like material that those boots were made out of. The creature's feet were not the same as yours.
Okay.
How far out is the thing in the center?
About 100 feet.
So the pool extends the diameter of the room. How far does it?
How far does what?
So like it goes like the diameter of the room, lengthwise, it's very long.
Mm-hmm.
Widthwise, how far to the other shore or?
It's about the same. It looks like this is almost a perfect circle. And then again, radiating out from the interior are the things that are submerged in there almost all the way to the walls. There's probably about a 5-foot gap between the edge of the pool and where the start of the things that are submerged are.
So there's 5 feet between the edge and the 2 feet up blue glowy things?
Yes.
Okay.
Question.
Yep.
Do we remember our racial abilities?
Yes, your racial abilities you still know.
I could fly out there.
Okay.
Well,
We can only cover you for so far.
We can all walk around and see if there's anything on the other side, or if there's any way to make something come up out that we can walk across.
Like
We can try to walk across it, or we can try and find a vehicle.
Well, if she
Or
can
let her fly.
shout it out.
I mean, I can only do it for a minute, so I don't know.
I mean,
Your
that
fly
should be
speed
enough.
is like
Hopefully,
60 feet per round, isn't it, Brenna?
30 feet.
30 feet. Okay.
You should be able to go and at least look at the pillar and come back, right? It's more of a fly than a glide, right?
Hmm.
Okay.
But then I can't do it again until I sleep.
So
Or
if you go out there,
only
you're
got
probably
one shot
stranded.
at it. Okay.
Well, I could go there and come back.
DM to player, your fly speed being 30 feet around, 10 rounds is a minute.
Mhm.
So you're able to fly 300 feet in a minute.
Okay.
And the pillar is only 100 feet away.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'd have enough time to like go there, do a little bit of looking around, or do an action or a little bit of something, and then come back. Like I'd
Maybe
have a
look
little bit of leeway to do something as long as I was like
Maybe look for a card slot or something.
careful.
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you guys want to do?
Okay. If it's only one because you get tired, I agree with let's look for a bridge first. If there's no bridge, because we don't know what's on the other side yet. If there's no bridge, then let's see if you can fly over and see if you can find like a card slot or anything that activates anything. But in the meantime, we have 3, I guess, action plans, and that's plan B. So, or part C, I don't know. But look for a bridge. Maybe see if those glowing things will activate, and like maybe they're barges that take you across, and if not, you fly out and see if you can find either a card slot or something on the tower that indicates where we are, what data center stuff even looks like. That sound okay?
Are there any scopes on these rifles?
No, iron sights only.
Copy.
Okay, so what are you guys going to do?
I'm okay with walking around. If you want to fly out there, you can fly out there.
Okay.
In the meantime, my character's
have
looking around. Can I see completely across the chamber from here?
Yeah, there's
Far
enough
wall.
light diffused that you can see across the chamber.
Is anything in here moving?
Not that you can see.
Okay.
Grizz, will you go with Jareth to check the other side of to see if there's a bridge?
All right. Holler if he decides to fly right now.
Yeah, we're gonna look around before go. Yeah.
Okay. So, Grizz, Jareth, which direction are you guys walking? You can either go north or south around the pool.
Let's go north.
Okay, you guys start going north. As you start walking around, as you're looking around, you can see that the north shore along the pool curves, and that there's going to be a tunnel up, directly due north from the pillar in the center, and that there appears to be a break in the shore line, preventing you from getting to the complete opposite side of where you were, because there's a 15-foot gap. You could try and jump it, but there's a 15-foot gap where the shore is given way.
Okay. All right. Well, seeing that, hey Grizz, we should probably go around the other way.
Okay.
So. And there's no bridge. There's nothing that's like apparently hiding just under the surface of the liquid or anything.
As far as you can tell, the only thing that seems to be in the liquid is these glowing pillar-like structures. They seem to extend as you go a little further north, all the way from the pillar to the about 5 feet out from the edge of the pool. but they don't all go to the very edge of the pillar. You see one or two as if you move further north, you see one or two near the broken edge of shore that connect all the way back.
So
Okay.
across the 15-foot gap, there's like no other features like bridges or anything beyond that we can see.
If you guys were to walk past the pillar and try to look over there, you can see the other end of the other side of the shore. There doesn't appear to be anything from this angle that you can see. As you get a different angle from what's behind the pillar. But that doesn't mean there's not something over there. You just can't see it from where you're standing.
Okay. And I take it it's a real struggle to get down to that liquid, down and whatnot.
Getting back up would be the real struggle. Getting down to it, you could drop. It's about a 5-foot drop.
All right.
But it's a 5-foot drop down and out to get to the pillar stuff.
Yeah. Okay. And it's not really possible to see if there's anything swimming in that down there in the pool, right?
It's hard to see. You don't see anything moving down there. If you want to roll an actual perception check instead of just using their passive, you can try.
Yeah. Okay. Well, 22.
22, not bad. As you're looking down into the liquid, you don't see anything moving per se, but you can tell that there is stuff submerged inside of the liquid. Whether that be rocks or smaller debris of some kind, you can see that. And as you guys have walked north some number of feet, you can see behind one of the pillars that was behind one of the pillars near where you guys initially started, there appears to be like a cart or a vehicle of some kind submerged underneath the gel.
Ooh.
Okay. Hey, Grizz, it looks like there might be something down in there, but looks risky. I think we should try and walk around the other way.
All right.
So, knowing what we know, might as well go back.
Keep our eyes out for anything that may be like a rock wall or something. See if anybody engraved anything.
All right, so you're checking the walls to see if there's anything written on them?
Yeah. I think initially coming this way, like we're more focused on our mission to see if there's like an obvious way across.
Mm-hmm.
But now I want to see more detail about stuff on the way back.
Yeah, so roll an active investigation check then.
$16.
Okay, as you are walking back and as you near the entrance of the tunnel where the other three are standing, you see that there is an indentation in the rock that appears to have been carved out. It's not immediately visible from the side where you guys entered in on because there is a protrusion that protects seeing it, but as you get closer you can see that there is a section probably about a 1/2 foot by a 1/2 foot that has been carved out in the center of the wall.
Can I go get closer to it and see if it says anything or depicts, like, even if it just sounds danger? Like,
yeah.
See.
As you get close to it and you look at it, you see that there is some sort of like panel back there. You see a metal plate that looks like it has like a little handle on it that you can pull back.
Let's pull that back and inspect what's behind it.
On the interior, you see a row of 3 buttons, 1 red, 1 blue, 1 yellow.
No slots for a card or anything?
Nope, just 3 buttons.
Hey, Jared, check out what I saw.
Okay, go over and look at it.
You see the 3 buttons in this little panel with a door having been pulled out. There doesn't appear to be any identifying marks. There's just these 3 buttons in the 3 colors.
There's a green button there?
There's no green button. There is a red, a blue, and a yellow.
Red, blue, yellow. Okay, well. We can hit him. We can push some Grizz, see what happens. I would say not the red one.
Let's go ahead and try a blue button.
All right. Pushing the blue button. Ta-da.
You click the button. There is a very satisfying tactile click as you push it in. And as it does so, you hear something start whirring in the pool behind you.
All right. Well, turn around, see what happens.
As everybody begins to hear the whirring, you see that the central pillar is moving slightly downward. And the pillars leading towards it start to rise out of the gel slightly. It is not fast, and you can see the stalactites attached to the top of the pillar are starting to crack as it starts to whir downward.
Okay. Well, been there a while.
Been a while.
All right. Can I see the rest of them?
Yeah, the rest of the group is probably only about 15, 20 feet away, even if they'd started walking around. Which it sounded like you guys were waiting for them to check what was north and come back, right?
I mean, generally, I wanted to kind of investigate and see if there was a way to get to the blue things without having to get so close to the gel.
Well, now there is.
Cool. All right.
As the whirring continues, it happens for about 5 minutes, where the whirring goes, and eventually you see the stalactite that's attached to the top of the pillar break. And at that point, the whirring speeds up, and the stuff starts to move much quicker. It seems that there was a lot of tension holding it there.
All right. Glad it didn't break.
And eventually, you see the pillars rise up and out. You can see that there is... whatever is generating the blue light appears to be a liquid contained within tubes that's circulating.
Okay.
And now that the pillars have risen up, they have risen to about your level, and the central pillar has dropped to where it is even across the board with all of the other pillars.
I love buttons.
Yeah, well, I'm kind of curious if that's where we're supposed to go or if that's just something to go and look at. So we'll find out here shortly.
It is now only a 5-foot jump to get to any of the pillars. And some of the ones to the north do lead directly to the other pillar. There are other places nearby where sections are missing. So you have another 10 or 15-foot jump to get across.
Is there any visible layer of slime on the top of the now pillars?
Everything that has come out of the gel is absolutely clean. There is no gel on any of it.
That is sus.
Yeah.
Anyone want to see what the other buttons do?
I can make a guess, but we should probably avoid just hitting them because this is doing what we want.
We could just...
Let's see what this does first, then we can push the other buttons.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, now I'm concerned that those are just gonna zap us if we stand on them, but
you can
I think
feel
it's
the
worth the
heat
try.
in the room slowly increasing.
Yeah, I'm gonna see how wide my stance is and compare it to the size of the jumps between there.
So if you were to jump across, you'd need to make a dex check, but it looks doable at this point. It's now only a 5-foot jump versus a 5-foot jump and a 5-foot drop to a 2.5-foot wide pillar.
Okay. I'm gonna I'm not great at dexterity, but I'm gonna start going.
Okay. I wish we had rope.
So are you going to go to one of the pillars that connects basically from the shoreline with the 5-foot drop all the way to the central pillar? Because not all of them connect.
Yeah, I'm heading towards the central pillar.
Okay. So roll the dex check. And anybody that's going to go with her also roll a dex check.
Okay. 15.
15 makes it. You jump across, and you land gracefully on the far side.
Are the
9.
pillars still moving, or have they stopped?
They have stopped at this point, yes.
Okay.
This would be after everything has stopped whirring and the cave has returned to silence.
All right. I'll risk it. I'll make a jump.
Okay.
Hey, 22.
All right, so you also make it gracefully jumping across, landing as though you are just simply strolling across an open field. Anyone who's made it across can also attempt to assist anyone who's jumping across and give them advantage on the check.
Okay.
I would like that.
Yes. Yes. Yes,
Alright,
Fiona.
sure. Helping out.
9 was the good roll.
Okay. So, Jareth and Ziera, you may roll a dex saving throw to attempt to keep Fiona from falling.
I'd like not to fall, please.
Okay, well, I rolled a 15. I don't know if I'm supposed to add anything to that.
It would be a dexterity saving throw, so if you're proficient in dexterity saving throws, you may add that.
I am not
19.
proficient in dexterity, so 15.
Okay. 19, Bruna?
Yeah.
All right, so between the two of you, as she jumps, her foot hits the edge at a bad angle, her boot slips off the side, she starts to go down, you both manage to reach down and grab her arms and keep her from falling. That does not save her rifle.
No!
Oh,
Oh!
Which
And these
tumbles
rifles-
I
down.
literally kneel on the side of the thing and like put my hand out as it falls into the goo and just go, no! I should have known. Why didn't it have a strap? Okay.
As
Okay.
it falls, it strikes the side of the pillar and the blue glowing stuff that's on it, and you hear a very distinct clack, a spark, and then the rifle falls into the goo.
Hmm.
What?
Her rifle fell into the goo.
So with the flashlight on, can we see into the goo where the rifle has fallen?
Yes,
Yeah.
but the light has diffused pretty quickly, but you can see the rifle, you can see the light. It's not doing anything to the rifle.
Gosh dang it.
Is
Gotta
it
find some metal.
dropping?
We've got to
me-
find some metal wire at some point and come back for it. Okay, let's go.
Is it dropping at like a rate? Does it like stop just because it's heavier liquid, or
Yeah, no, it stops about where the mask stopped, only about a foot in.
and it's like the level of the goob from the
Sorry.
pillars is like 10 feet.
Yeah, roughly.
that vehicle that Jareth and I saw? How deep was that supposedly?
Significantly deeper, but you're not entirely sure because of the way the gel is diffusing the light. It's hard to tell exactly how deep it was.
But at least we know it's deeper than a foot. That way we can
Yes.
discern that. Also, whoever's like, let's just find a vehicle and try to go through this. Doesn't seem like that worked. Jareth and I found a vehicle and not so good.
Okay.
Good to know.
So, is Grizz and Sakara going to jump across, or are you just going to wait on the shore for them?
I'll jump.
Okay. Roll a dex.
What if we need you to press a button? Just kidding. Please.
I mean, I don't want to be the only one left over here.
Okay.
So, if he jumps, I'll jump. But if not, I guess I'll stay over here.
I mean, pressing buttons may be a smart idea, so I will stay before I jump.
Okay, so the two of you
Alright,
stay
I
on the
just
shore.
like my character like yells that.
I mean, you're not that far apart. You can still talk normally.
Oh, okay, right. Yeah, it was only a 5-foot jump. Okay.
Yeah.
Scuff of 5. Okay. Nothing. We're good.
Yeah, it's a 7-foot walk. I am going to look around for card slots and look at this center tower, investigate it, try to see what I can see.
Okay, as you get to the center tower, you see that the entire area on the top of the tower, which is roughly a 10-foot radius circle, is completely flat. But in the center, you see a kind of like a handle built into the center that looks like you could grab and pull out.
Okay, I'll grab it. See if it has any give. See if it has any turn.
So it immediately, like as you're fiddling with it, you can tell that it turns counterclockwise. You turn it about half a counterclockwise turn, and then it just pulls right up and out.
As long as we don't have a Red Queen scenario, I'm fine with this.
Twisty turny.
Understood.
What am I looking at? As I pull it out, does it have someplace I can stick my shiny card?
Yeah, so as you pull it out, you see that it has just blue veins running from the top all the way through it, except for in a spot where the veins split to show an area where a card slot exists.
Ah!
Plink.
Plink. So, again, the temperature in the room is increasing. It's increasing steadily, and as you plug the card in, the glowing inside of the various pillars begins to brighten. The room brightens up. Now, instead of being cast in dim light, it's beginning to be cast in bright light. And the temperature begins to increase more rapidly. You then hear somebody speaking over the airwaves. Just a voice just repeating some sort of phrase again and again and again. It's not in the language you understand.
Can I roll a insight check just to vibe check what the general message feel is?
Yeah, sure.
Is this like okay? Why am I good at this?
Vibe check.
I'm
the
good
message.
at the dumb things. Okay, so 23 insight.
Whatever the voice is saying is clearly a question.
Okay, what's it asking? You guys have any, can you piece any of that together? It's clearly asking something. Is it like a clarification or authorization thing? I say to you two, Ziara and Jareth.
Like, if it ain't making sense to anybody else, I doubt it'll make sense to me, but I mean...
We need the map. Map, please?
What's map in Celestial?
Well, is anything else happening? Like, if she puts the card in the slot, what else is happening?
Yeah.
Or is it getting brighter and there's a thing?
The brightness has gotten to a point where it has stopped, the heat is continuing to increase, and the voice is just continuing to repeat. As of yet, nothing else has happened. Nothing else has changed.
Now I'm concerned that it's gonna go boom and this is a self-destruct button.
I don't know. What happens if you push the column back in now?
You can push the column back in. The card hasn't fully inserted itself.
It hasn't, or it has?
It has, so it is flush inside.
Yeah,
that's concerning.
I mean, I'll put the column back in, and if the question is still being asked, I'll just try saying map and celestial.
Okay.
Yes.
So you push the column back down,
or
lock it back into place,
celestial.
And the voice stops speaking at that point. The heat is still increasing, the brightness is not dimmed, but the voice has stopped.
Okay.
Okay, guys, I don't think you realize how hot it is when you have fur.
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm gonna start stripping here in a second. We gotta
Alright.
figure this out.
Well, the next thing to do is probably get back out of the middle of this place and hit another one of them buttons. So, because we hit the button in the first place and made noises and started getting warm, right? If I recall.
We might lose the card. Which button what color button did you hit?
Blue.
The blue first? Okay. So from everything we've gathered, blue is maintenance, but not emergency. Red is completely broken, and yellow is you could probably fix it. Or something like that. Yeah?
Well, all right. Well, I suggest to the people with me, we should probably get off the platform now.
Yeah. I go over to the edge and I say, "Okay, guys, get ready to catch me." I on the other side, and then I yeet myself over.
All right.
It was 5 feet, and I like life.
The danger of jumping the 5-foot gap to a larger platform is not the danger, so you're able to make it without a dex check.
That's nice, because that would have been embarrassing.
Oh.
So the three of you make it back across without any real trouble. Everything is still heating up at this point. The room is still bright.
Yeah, let's try the yellow one. See what happens. Because that's like the go back button.
Delete.
Okay, so somebody goes over there and presses the yellow button.
Yes.
Yes, it has been pressed.
Okay. So the button presses, you hear the whirring sound again, and you see the pillars start to, the surrounding pillars begin to fall, central pillar begins to rise, and as it does so, the heat in the room begins to decrease again.
Figures. Okay.
Oh, I thought I was gonna die.
After
So,
about 5...
Have you lost the card?
Doesn't take 5 minutes for the whirring to stop this time. It only takes about a minute and a half. And then everything is the way that you found it. Except, from the center, you see 4 bridges at the cardinal points around the pillar begin to extend.
Oh, nice.
Nope, we fixed it, sort of. Good job. Go team! Woo!
Okay. I'm gonna walk across one of the bridges and go to the center.
Okay. So you walk across the nearest bridge. Is anybody else going with her?
Yes.
No one wants me to press the red button yet?
Not yet, please.
Not yet. One step at a time, Grizz.
All right, so you guys walk back across to the central pillar, and on the central pillar, now that it is raising up, you are standing on a platform that's probably about 2 feet wide. There is no railing. And in the center of it, in the central pillar itself, you see that there are a variety of panels and buttons and other things, and as you walk if you walk around the pillar, you eventually find a spot where your keycard is sticking out, which is directly due south. Or at least a keycard that looks like the keycard you had.
Okay.
Fear. I take this. The bridges disappear.
I mean, fair. Hey, are there other buttons on the actual pillar?
There are numerous buttons, numerous panels. You see what looks like input panels where you could click multiple keys to try and put in information. Like, all of this appears to be manual.
Oh, that sucks. Okay. Is there any sort of pedestal-y thing on any side of the pillar. I'm gonna walk around that little part. That would have been too easy.
Is there anything that has writing on it?
Everything. I mean, the keys that look like keyboards have letters on them for the alphabet that you were seeing earlier, but no like instructions are written on any of this.
Okay. Is it familiar enough that I could like kind of recognize some of the letters?
I mean, yes, you can recognize a few of them.
I'm gonna walk up to a keyboard and try to peck out the word map
Okay.
in Celestial.
You're missing a few of the word in Celestial is not as short as the word as it is in English, and you're missing one or two of the letters, but you think you see enough of the Draconic letters to be able to like replace what you think you need to do. The Sit languages are similar enough that you think you can make it work. So you start hitting keys. I'm going to need you to roll a intelligence check.
Intelligence?
Yes. Meanwhile, Sakara, Grizz, you two are still back on the shore.
Yep.
The two of you hear bootsteps coming out of the tunnel.
Attaching flashlight to rifle and inspecting.
Okay. So you shine it down and you see a humanoid walking down the tunnel wearing the same equipment you are, with a rifle in their hands slung in the carry position. Their light is not on. As you shine the light on them, they kind of stop and they rifle in one hand, hold up their other hand.
Approach slowly. Don't make any sudden movements.
The individual nods their heads, and you hear a very muffled, "Whatever you say."
At least they know our language, so I assume they're getting closer.
Yeah, they start approaching you. They were 30 feet out. They start approaching. At about 15 feet, they stop, and they go, "Hey, look, I'm here to help. You need my help or what?"
Can I recognize this person at all?
With your light shining on their faceplate, it's making their faceplate opaque. You can't see them. They appear to be human, though, or at least humanoid. Their mask looks more or less the same as any of the masks that you guys have on. It's not different like the last guy you found.
I think you can put it down.
Approach.
I want to call back to everybody else and let them know that somebody's approaching.
Says he's here to help.
States he's here to help, but I also want the group decision. Group decision.
You are nowhere near this guy, Shayla.
He's yelling at me. I want to know.
Yeah, you're nowhere near the individual insight checking.
Fine.
You can't vibe check from that far away.
I can vibe check.
Just kidding.
Okay, so you guys hear Gris as Zaria is like clicking keys and trying to get it to do something. You hear Gris shout out, "Hey, there's somebody here to help." You know, everything he just said.
You got they got a name?
What's your name?
The guy puts his kneels down, sets his gun on the stone, and he says, "My name's Ander."
Ander or Xander?
Ander, A.
Okay.
His name is Ander.
Does that ring any bells for me?
Your past doesn't ring any bells.
You know what? I don't care. I'm gonna try something.
12? No, the name does not ring any bells to you.
Darn it.
What's his stature like? Is he tall, average, short?
Average height, medium build. As you take your light off of his faceplate and the diffused glow from the pillars lights up his face again, you can kind of see that he looks human.
I'll let him finish approaching me and Sakara.
Okay. So he gets up next to you guys and he looks at the two of you and he says, "The warden just dropped me down here. I don't think any of you guys' profiles say you know how to speak ancient, so I'm here to help out."
The warden.
Okay, so the language is ancient, and that is why none of us understand it. Makes sense.
No, it is a proto-language. I knew it.
He looks at the two of you and he says, you okay if I walk across the bridge? I don't have any other weapons on me.
Yes, but we will be watching you.
He shrugs.
Oh, I rolled an 18, by the way.
For the intelligence check?
Yeah.
Your tapping on the keys does cause the display in front of you to light up, but it's now scrolling text and you're not entirely sure what it says.
Okay.
So he starts walking across the bridge, and he makes it out.
Go to hold up my rifle, and I have no rifle.
Well, you do now because you put his on the ground. Well, if you were back.
Yeah. So he starts walking out to the three of you. As he gets up to you guys, he looks at Jareth and kind of does a double take for a second. I was like,
"Welcome to the party. We have no idea what we're doing."
Yeah, no, that's fair. Wake-up procedures make it real difficult to remember shit.
Wake-up procedures. Can you tell me more about this warden?
He looks at you and goes, "You guys really don't remember anything right now, do you?"
No.
I know my name.
Well, that's a start. That's a good start.
Yeah, that's more than me there. I can fly. I know that.
We arrived on this level in basket. That's what we know.
Yeah, the drops. He shakes his head. The warden really should stop knocking people out when he puts them back in the pods. Like, that's just not a good idea. It just makes this harder. He looks at you guys and he's like, "All right, if I remember from the file," he points at Fiona. "You're Fiona." He looks at Jareth. "They said lizard man, so I'm assuming that means you are Jareth. You look like a dragon, though, not a lizard, so I don't... Whatever, the warden's racist."
Fair.
Note yourself, warden is racist.
Looks over at Zaria and he says, "Zaria, I'm fairly certain, because the other female was a Leonin who is..." Motions over his shoulder. Probably her, since she looks like a cat. I'll be honest, I haven't seen some of your species before. We don't get many new blood here. At least not anymore.
Give him my whitest smile.
Is this a prison or is this something else?
He kind of shrugs and he motions at the computer console that Zaria is in front of. Yes and no.
Research?
It's complicated.
Uncomplicated.
He kind of shrugs. Some of the people who get dropped down here are prisoners. It's prison complex for something. I don't actually know where most of the people come from. I've been here for a very, very long time trying to get some stuff sorted out. He starts clicking away on the keys.
Where did we go?
So what did happen to this thing, and what you doing?
He looks at it and he says, "This should be the central database of the mountain. Should be in are not always the same thing. He starts clicking, you start seeing scrolling text changing. The central database, I guess I should explain, is like a library. But all of the contents are magically stored, I guess you would say. Your card that you've got in here is both an access card and a memory card. So it can store the information. We need
So
the
this is
map
the
out of
data.
this thing so we can figure out whatever the hell the warden's looking for and where it is.
So this is the data center.
Yes, and possibly no.
Great. Okay.
So, due to the fact that it seems like the control panel we've been messing with doesn't really have a time limit how long it stays active, I want to cross the bridge as well because we should be able to get back to it eventually. I want to ask, what's his face? Ander. He walked in here fairly confident on his own. I want to know if he's worried about anything down here.
Oh no, there's definitely crap down here, but you guys walked through there without anything popping up. Since it didn't pop up on the scrying spell essentially that we've got on you, I figured it was safe to drop down here without any real worry.
Fair.
But there's stuff down here.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what's down here?
He shrugs. Crazed mechanical machines. Undead. Lots of undead. Lots and lots of undead. He's still typing
I
away.
think we dissolved that strange thing with the tentacle face.
Yeah, that... Didn't even know we had any of them here. I'm mildly concerned.
You know what they are?
That, my friend, is an illithid. He's still typing away.
Oh.
Well, it was dead when we came across it.
Yep. Which is concerning because, at least according to my records, the warden hasn't dropped anybody onto this level before. This is the first time we've been down here.
Huh.
Yeah, that is concerning.
Though it's possible they were dropped onto another level and accidentally made their way down here looking for whatever the heck they were looking for.
Yeah.
I don't
So,
know,
are you
man.
saying
When we
that
came here
there
in
have
the
been
pod,
illithids
there were-
dropped on other
Yep.
levels?
So many people were talking over each other at once.
Sorry.
John, what?
I said, I don't know, man. When we got here, there were footsteps leading in from where we got dropped.
He shakes his head and goes, apparently I don't have the security clearance to know everything anymore.
But you guys watch us pretty closely, huh?
He nods.
So, has the warden dropped one of these illithids somewhere before?
Didn't think so. Didn't know we had any.
How old is this warden? Have you had a switch in wardens before, or?
No idea. Never met the guy. Assuming it is a guy. Assuming it's a thing.
All right. Since we've been here for a while, memories are any of my memories coming back at all?
You're starting to remember the last time you dropped.
Okay.
Previous experience here.
But nothing about where I was before.
None of that's come back yet, but you guys are beginning to remember the previous time you were down in these tunnels.
Okay.
Fabulous.
But we wouldn't remember Strahd.
Not at the moment.
Okay.
Well, that's weird. We can remember that far behind, but not what happened in between.
So the warden just has people
Yep.
that he just puts places randomly.
Deja vu.
Yeah. Yes. I guess. Yes.
Multiple times.
You've dropped before, I take it, and you're remembering that at this point?
Yeah.
Yeah, no. Usually he'll drop crews multiple times. If you work well together, it happens more often than you end up with the other people.
But why?
We had
why?
to do something last time too.
Why?
Yeah, why are... I just don't understand why us?
Why the no memory?
Yeah.
The
Why can I only remember last time we dropped, but nothing in between or before?
And the secrecy. And
You were asleep probably in between drops, and the wake-up process usually wipes your memory for a while. You'll get it back eventually. But if you go back to sleep before you get it back, you're not going to remember back. But you'll eventually get your memory back permanently if you stay awake long enough. If that makes sense.
Do you remember before your first drop?
Yes. I've not been asleep in like 6 centuries, so...
I'm so sorry, that's concerning. Wait,
sleep
no,
as
the
in...
magical sleep.
Yes.
Okay. Got it. So, where did you get here from?
You wouldn't know the place, I guarantee that.
Alright, so
I mean,
is his task proceeding? Like,
he's still clicking away on the keys while he's talking to you guys.
is he making... Well,
him.
I guess I want to know how close is he to done?
Ask him.
Yeah. Do you ask him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how close are you to done with all this?
He looks at
And
you.
what's
He
gonna
kind of looks over his shoulder at you and goes, I think I'm almost there. And he pauses for like another 10 seconds, then definitively hits a key. And he's like, that should do it. And then he pulls the key card out and hands it back to Zaria.
Oh, wow. Okay.
how much of our last drop do we remember?
At this point, you'd remember pretty much all of it.
So why when we finished did we just pop? Like, I don't remember the end. It just ended.
He kind of cocks his head, looks at you confused. You should have remembered getting back into the pods and getting pulled out.
Nope.
Got to the touch the object and then nothing.
He looks at the group of you for a second, and then he slings his backpack out and he goes, give me a second. Pulls out a like square box like thing and starts like tapping on it for a second. And he goes, weird. You guys remember anything from before you got here, before you did your first drop?
Nope.
Came down and got dropped.
Yeah, I remember dropping. That is the earliest.
There was like mist outside of the drop pod thing.
He nods. Interesting. Wait,
The same
mist?
drill tunnel, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, no, we dropped down through the mist in the pod, just zzz.
Yeah, missed.
He looks at all of you concernedly again and he goes, take your masks off for a second.
I think he did that last
that, I
time and it
almost
smelled
died.
gross.
I'll just start taking my mask off.
He reaches back and you see him like grab the 2 clips, and somehow, even though every time you guys remember trying to do this yourselves you had to take it off together, he just like pops his off and pulls it off.
I'll
Everything's fine,
start
just
trying
take
to
your
take my
mask
mask off.
I like go.
Yeah, I immediately start trying to take my mask off.
He looks at you all like you're kind of incompetent as you're struggling with it, and then he's like, here, let me help you. And then he walks around and quickly releases everybody's masks that wants to have them released. If you don't want to, you can tell him no.
No,
Sure.
I'm fine with having my mask come off.
Okay.
Ah.
It smells dusty when the masks come off. You can actually smell the air. It smells dusty. You smell like the smell of hot metal just kind of lingering in the air. And he's like, anything?
About what?
Anything.
Last time I did
Did I
this,
roll?
I almost died and had really bad air. So
No, this is our third time. Because Yara remembered another third, possibly.
Third.
Possibly?
Yeah, I mean,
Andrew, you
Yeah.
said we had records. Did they not say nothing about how many times we've dropped or how long we've been under the warden's care or anything?
I'm not 100% sure that we are physically here.
He nods slowly and he goes, set your mask down next to the pillar. Walk across the platform with me real quick.
I like scritch at one tusk. This was itching this entire time. This has been itching.
I mean, I'm gonna take my mask with me because I would like to put it back on at some point, but I'll walk with you.
He shakes his head. Leave the masks here. You're going to want to leave them here for this.
Okay.
But
Put him down and follow.
doesn't the pillar go back under the goop?
Shouldn't until we hit something, I think.
Okay.
He starts walking across the pillar. His mask is sitting on the ground where he left it.
Okay, I follow.
Follow.
Yes.
Okay? Once he's to the other side, he waits on the bridge until everyone who seems to be coming is coming.
Yeah, follow him, I guess.
He
good.
he taps the box once or twice more, and he looks at you guys and he goes, my records show that this is only your second drop. Your first drop was to the first level.
No. No, it
During
had
that
a
drop, I remembered another drop.
Yeah.
I remembered being there before.
How far down do you think you were in your last drop that you remember?
16.
Yeah.
He shakes his head. It's not possible. Well, I guess it is possible. You see mist when you're up in the top when you're first dropping in, right? That's what you said?
Both times.
Okay. That explains a few things then. I need you to do something. You're going to go back into the baskets. You're going to go back up. You're going to put your mask back on. When you wake up, you're going to remember this. I need you to go find a halfling named Regis. Go talk to him.
Sorry.
This
What
is
was the
not
name?
normal, and you guys are not here. I don't think you're actually here. Would explain why you can't access the consoles.
What?
Something's going on. You need to go talk to Regis. I can't tell you more. The warden's watching.
Oh, okay, sounds good.
He then makes eye contact with each of you. And as he makes eye contact with each of you, his eyes change color. They were just brown. They change to a very deep purple, and he looks at each of you and he goes, what you're doing is important. Remember that. She is important. He is also important. Keep them both alive. Go talk to Regis.
Okay.
He is
And then,
important.
As he makes eye contact with each of you, everything starts to fade to black. And you guys find yourselves sitting in the kitchen with Irina and Ismark. Ismark is just starting to chop up stuff for soup. Irina is pulling out something for bread. Palmia is looking at the group of you like, huh? You guys okay? You blanked out there for about 10 seconds.
More like
He's important. He's important. Keep them both alive.
several hours. One. All right, cool. That was. I remember where Regis is. Do y'all guys remember? I do.
Yeah, playing games.
Okay.
Hey, do you guys have any rye bread?
That's where we're going to end the session today, is with that question.
Okay. Well, looking for a halfling, he said, named Regis. Or Regis.
We know where he is.
We do?
Yeah. Are we ending or can I still?
if you wish to speak out of character, go for it. I mean,
Okay.
Wasn't that part of the travel caravan?
Yeah, he was sitting next to the matron.
Oh yeah.
He's the guy. I mean, he said, "Your soul is worth more than a piece of rye bread," and his name was Regis.
That's right.
I figured that halfling who was telling stories to Grizz is probably the right Regis, hopefully.